Hey there, everybody. Sorry I was a little bit late. Let's go ahead and get started here. Uh, can everyone see my screen? Let me do that now. Yes.
Yep,
Avish, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, good. Am I on? Can you see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Good. Okay. So I temporarily thought I was going to be incapacitated, but I've been revived. Okay. So first off, a couple of things I wanted to talk about right off the bat. And Avish, since let me see who else is on here. If anybody other than you, and yeah, that's pretty much as far as a joint venture partner goes, you are the only one. Okay, so now Bill DeWeese told me, of course, because he's the hardest working man in the voiceover business, he is unable to attend, but he was just here this weekend, and I wanted to sort of go over what happened and how I think it can work. So we talked about this a little bit last time, but let me just give you what actually happened as opposed to what we thought was going to happen. So, what happened was okay, so we're going to talk about it in terms of the. Let me just get rid of this and go here. And let's. No, wait, let me do this. Let me launch another browser, make sure that I have that. But let's go to voice dash over that training. And I'm going to give you some of the things that happened here. First off, Bill came into town late on, he arrived late on Friday night. So we got together on Saturday, midday, and did about an hour, 1.5 hours of recording. And then Sunday, we got together again and did another, 2 hours or so of recording. And what we did is we worked off an outline that Bill had put together, which was about, so it was introduction, there were about 22 sections and a conclusion. So what happened was I just interviewed him about the whole voiceover process, and now of course I'm an expert as well. Just because now that I've touched the surface and know what he's doing, but it's clear to me that like in every business, Bill has laid out a very, very specific path that most people will not follow. And the reason why they won't follow it is because he, like what I do in the information marketing business, he's suggesting that you can't get rich overnight, that you have to do certain things. And most voiceover people expect to record a demo, give it to an agent, and have the agent magically start to bring them $1 million worth of business virtually overnight. And his model works sort of exactly opposite to that. It's very much of a blue collar approach. So we put it down though, and we did this interview, and so now the interview is done. So here's what I'm doing next. So interview in terms of audio form complete. The next step is to send to transcriptionist to transcript, obviously. Okay. Now, after the when transcription is complete, when transcript is done, edit. So we'll be editing the finished transcript. And by the way, the time between sending it to the transcriptionist and getting it done, we're sort of allowing, it might be more, about right, 1 week, let's say. Okay, now, the other thing that I wanted him to do, or the other thing I promised I would do, as a matter of fact, is while this is happening, that Fred, I was to work on writing the back copy for the book. Because we have the front cover ready to go. We've seen that on previous webinars, and that's ready to go. So I'm going to be writing the back copy. When the transcript is done, hopefully it'll be ready to go. And by the way, Avish, just as a side note here, did you have a
Hmm.
chance to go through those interviews I did with Carl Blanks?
I have not yet.
Got it. Okay, just asking. So I'm working on the back copy. The transcription gets done, and our first, go around with the book. We may do something later, but our first go around with the book is to take the edited transcriptions and turn it into a book that is basically Q and A. So it'll be basically Fred and then Bill and Fred and Bill, but mostly Bill talking, and that's the form that the book will take. Now, I suspect that, and again, I'd love for you to read a little bit of it. Avish, you don't have to read the whole thing unless you have an interest. But if you read enough of it to tell me whether or not the transcription and Bill's delivery when I asked him the questions made it such that this is readable. Because one of the main problems is with a transcript, and I learned this, whatever it was, a year ago when I tried to do this myself, is that the written word is very different than the spoken word. And oftentimes trying to take the spoken word, transcribe it, and provide it to people in written form and say, hey, here it is, it doesn't read, quite right. So it might, because Bill gave very good answers, but I'd like to sort of have you as one of the people that says yay or nay on that. But certainly for our first, and this is important, our first stab at the book will be done this way. Now, and what will happen is that we need to know how many pages this is so that the cover designer can take my back copy when done, know the number of pages it's going to be completed in, and decide on the spine width of the book. And I'm guessing, and I gave Bill a very exact guess. I, for some reason, came up with a number, 26,500 words is how much I thought. And again, that was just a pure guess, but I wanted to make it a very odd number to appear like I knew what I was doing. So I put this guess out there that it was a total of 26,500 words. So some people may be saying, well, isn't that too short, whatever. And the answer is, Bill basically gave everything he could. So now what we did, though, and Avish, I don't know if you're on Bill's list, I said, well, why don't we make some money with this right away? And what we decided to do is to offer people on his list a deal, which is, okay, when the book is when the package is going to be completed, we're looking at somewhere around, and let's just say $50 for the complete package, which is going to include the audio, the transcript, and some other, printed, material, various kinds of addendums. They're going to go with what we did. Now that's going to be for the complete package. So what we said was, and Bill sent out an email to his list that said, okay, that's what it's going to be when it's complete. However, if you want to get the audios right now, well, not really right now, but if you're willing to give me $20, he said, you get the audio in about a week, and you only get the audios for right now, but when the full package is complete, you get it at 50% off, or something like that. I forget what we did. So the good news is he made this offer last night, and the deal was, we said either 100 units sold or 72 hours, whichever comes first. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And as of right before this webinar, by the way, I made a prediction. I said to Bill, I think we're going to sell 63 units. I'm probably going to be wrong because of just before this webinar, there were 50 sold.
And when did this email go out? Last night?
Yeah, last night. So it's been about 12 hours max.
Cool.
I mean, yeah, it's been about 12 hours or so. So within 12 hours, he'd sold 50 of them. So 50, times 20 is obviously about $1,000. And so we've got $1,000. And by the way, he hasn't even delivered the product yet. This is because people are willing to wait a week and they're only getting the audios, et cetera, but if they want to get it right away, here it is. And our reason for doing this is, if you look at Bill's site, there's a bunch of products you can buy from Bill. But if you go to any of these, the voiceover playbook, and if you scroll down here.
What is the
Whoa.
greatest need of voiceover talent
Okay.
today?
Okay.
Well, it's very
Okay,
simply
Bill.
this.
Thanks. Got to shut it off. And this is 247. And this is, I forget what this is, how much it is. But it's, I don't know if this is an auto start as well. I'll see. If it is, I'll cut it out. Yep, it was auto start. Okay, so then here, this one is 247 as well. So our problem was, I think we have something, but we don't have anything really at the lower price points. So this is going to be, when it's all said and done, here's what's going to happen. We're going to have, the book, which will sell for probably 20 bucks. We're going to have the audio recording, audio recording plus whatever, so we're going to have a 50-buck product. And then soon thereafter, we're going to have something that's somewhere either $77 to $97. That's going to be, and this is everybody can do this. Avish, we can do this as well. This is a great idea that I don't know, I think Bill came up with it. The top 100 questions that voiceover, that aspiring VO, I'll just put artists ask. So whatever field you're in, you could put this together, and this would be a video. So you could include PowerPoints, or if you wanted to do whatever you wanted to do. So and we were estimating that each. Now, by the way, he asked his group to send him questions, and so they sent him a whole bunch of questions, and he's compiling those. He didn't quite get 100, so I think he got maybe 60 by people on his list. So then he's going to take 40 of his own, and if you take an average of, say, 5 minutes per question, you're looking at 500 minutes. I don't have my calculator. Can you do that for me, Avish? Is that about 8 hours or so? Yeah, 480. Yeah, a little over 8. 820. So it'd be 8 hours and 20 minutes total of video. Now, what we're going to do there is, since this price point of 77, our problem with Bill DeWeese was that he didn't have any lower priced products, and he had a lot of people on his list, some of whom had bought and many of whom had not bought because they were uncomfortable with the initial gambit of 247. So I said we needed to produce things that were in the under $100 range in order to get the people that first come to check him out to then, to give them some place to go. So this is going to be for the physical book or the Kindle book. Maybe we go a bit lower for the Kindle book. And say we did. Let's say we did. I don't want to go too low here, but let's say, and I don't know what the magic upper price point is, but I think maybe $9.97 for the Kindle book. So now what's going to happen is, eventually we're going to have prices that go from 10 to 20 to 50 to 77 to 97, and then his other stuff that's 147, 247, and other things. The point here being that he has a lot of people on his list, and with the people on his list, I don't want to say a lot because he doesn't. I think he's up to now about 1,200. So with 1,200 people on the list, I think there's, at least, now it's 50 plus, let's just overestimate and say that he's had 120 people buy, which is 10% of his list. So 90% of his list, so 90% have not bought. So what we're trying to do is to give these people a way to enter his, his actual funnel of purchased, customers who have actually purchased, and bump that up from 120 so that we can get people, once they buy the less expensive products, to say, wow, this Bill DeWeese guy really knows what he's talking about. I'm willing to invest more. Because I don't know how you are, Avish. I'm sure, you're kind of skeptical like I am. You see something, you're not willing to spend a lot of money, but you're willing to try something out.
Right.
And so I guess it'd be interesting to see, and let's poll our audience here. So everybody who is on the webinar, I would like you to send me in the question area the answer to the following question. The answer to the question is, and Pam, I'll get to your other questions later, but I'd like you to answer this question for me. Think about it before you put it in. before you go into the question area right now and give me a number at which, if you didn't know somebody from Adam, somebody completely unknown to you, how much would you be willing to risk when you saw something online? What's your maximum price point? What's the maximum you would be willing to spend if you didn't know someone to try and buy some of their cheaper stuff? So what is your price point? Would it be 10, 20, 50? How much would you be? What's the high end of your price point? How much would all of you be willing to spend with somebody that you didn't know? You saw their site and you said, I'm going to do this. So George says 25. Who else? Maybe 50 from Scott. Who else is going to give us some feedback here? So George says 25. Scott says 50. Who else has got an answer? 25 from Ken. What else? Who else got an answer? Anybody? I mean, is anybody cynical enough that it only go 10? Is anyone depend? You know, no. What I'm telling you, you don't. Here's the deal. Just based on the information I've given you. How much would you be willing to risk? 10, 15, 25, 50. So Scott is fairly trusting. If he sold it well, Roy says 37. So we've got different. So, but certainly every answer. I mean, and it's easy to say that this is less than $50. And Avish, what would that be for you?
Yeah, probably around 50, 47.
Yeah,
I mean, if they had like a blog and I read a lot of info and felt confident, that'd be one thing.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think very many people who didn't know somebody from Adam would be willing to risk more than $50. I think that's definitely a no-brainer decision.
And if it was just a sales page, like no blog, nothing, then yeah, it's even lower. It's like
with
17,
no nothing. Let's just say, in other words, some guy's got a sales page, he's pitching you on something, and it's like, hey, it's $50. Yeah, so I mean that'd be the max for me. I think that for me, initial purchase $20.
Yeah.
Certainly not more than 30. So, I'm fairly careful with purchases like that. So that means that in every case, with 1,200 people on his list, and that's starting to grow faster and faster, he's got 120 people who have bought. And again, that's a little probably overstated, but let's just assume that means that 90% of his list has not bought, like I said there, right below. So the question is, how can we get him in the door? And the best way to get him in the door, I mean, because, Bill has he's got a blog, he's got a YouTube channel, which, by the way, his YouTube channel now, YouTube, I think he has 120 plus videos, which is kind of nice. Did you know that, Avish?
I did not. No.
Yeah, so he's got 120 plus videos, short videos, anywhere between a low of 5 to a high of, say, 12 minutes. Is got 120. And by the way, you know how many subscribers he has?
No, how many?
Just under 1,000.
Wow.
Now, so what we're also probably going to do, and I haven't talked to Bill about this, is one of the things that he could do is to get on, and since he has subscribers to his YouTube channel, they may not be the same subscribers that are subscribing to his email list that he just sent out that offer. So I was going to say to him, and I'll remind myself, if you remind me also, Avish, to send Bill an email that says, by the way, we did an offer to the list, but we need to do an offer to the YouTube subscribers. In what form?
In video, right?
Yeah, in video form, sure. Because that's how they want to consume the information. So he's got to give them a video pitch that goes over a little bit of the content, but also just pitches them. So I think we'll get more sales from that. So I probably will revise my number upward from 63 if we do that. So now we got people, because the goal is this. And I mean, again, this, information marketing is a simple business. It's not, but it's not an easy business. And what do I mean by simple but not easy? The simple thing is, it comes down to get people on your list. Then get them to buy, and usually something small in price. Then get them to buy higher priced items. Then get them to buy more items. It's just, and then probably get them to tell their friends. Get them to hire you as a coach. Fill in the blank from there. Dot, 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 dot. It's just, get them on your list. But in order to move them from here to here, get them to buy something, it means that you have to have something that is relatively inexpensive. And to date, with Bill, the cheapest thing you could buy, I think, was $147. And the difference between someone, even if you've got the blog and you've got the video YouTube channel, getting someone to take the jump from no money to $147 is a large leap. Even if you had that. Now, okay, so for you, Avish, if you had the blog, or you saw somebody had a blog and had all that stuff, then how much would you be willing to sell it for? I mean, to pay. How much would you be willing to pay?
Certainly up to 50, maybe even up to 100.
Yeah, and so I think that what happened was, since Bill's lowest price point was over the $100 mark, that he really only got people that were, really believed in him, and maybe many of those people he had actually talked to on the phone personally. So I think that, again, we go back to the very basic, which is, so, what are the price points? And I mean, the Kindle book, your Kindle book can be under $10. I have mine set at $4.95 or $4.99, whatever that is. And then a physical book, I think mine is set at, was it $20 or $19.95? And so then what I want everybody, everybody should be doing is thinking, okay, what are my price points? And so let's just, you list the price points. And you just go, okay, I need something around $10. I need something around $20. I need something around $50. I need something around $100. I need something around $200. I need something around $300, $400, and again, some of these can be combined, $500, and then maybe something at $1,000. And somebody will go, oh, well, I guess we can stop there. No. Don't stop there. There will be people, like with Bill DeWeese, who will love him enough to spend $2,500, $5,000, and then $10,000. More than that, it's tough. But for the 10K program, it's 3 days, one-on-one with Bill. By the way, he has sold one of those. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's awesome.
He has sold one of those. I think he gave him a discount. He may have said, since you're going to be my first 5 people or whatever, he was doing it at half. So that this person actually paid $5K for the 3 days, I think. And they're doing it in stages. They're not doing it all at once. But the point is that everyone who's listening on the webinar right now should first put up this list on their whiteboard or wall. And then, as you fill in the blanks with what is this? Is this a Kindle book? Is this a physical book? Go down through each one of these price points and make sure that you have all modalities covered, which would be audio, video, text, coaching, group coaching. And there you have it. You just develop your price points and then insert the various stuff. Now, by the way, when you get to something like 400 be it could be a combination of, of items, 3, 4, and 5. So it doesn't have to, but you got to make sure that at the end of the day here, with these price points, that all of the modalities are covered. That you have some audio, you have some video, you have some text, you have some group and personal coaching, and you're all set to go. So, I mean, it really is going back to the traditional, what's the model here? So that's what you want to do there. So in our case, Avish, we have for speaking expert, and by the way, let's talk to people a little bit. You made some progress on the ClickBank stuff, right?
Yeah, I got a page up with some information for people who want to be affiliates. I'm going to send that out.
Well, let's see it. Let's see where that is.
Yeah, I got to find the exact link.
Okay, as you're looking for that, so Avish put up a page. Put up a page for ClickBank. We'll call it CB. And this is to solicit others to help sell the program. As soon as you got it, let me know.
Yeah, put it in the chat box. Do you see it?
Okay. Didn't come through. Did you put it in in the chat or the question?
In the chat.
The chat. Okay. Oh, I see. Wasn't even aware there was a chat box. Okay, so let's do this. Shrink it down a little bit here. Whoops. Oh crap, I should have done that because I've got my screen sized to be okay. This could foul me up quite a bit here. Okay, you know what? I'm going to make it smaller so I definitely will not have a problem. Okay, so this is, and for all of you who are, you can see my screen, right, Avish?
Yeah.
Okay, so it is, let me just copy that. And let me make this a little bit bigger. So there it is. It's basically speakingexpert.com/SE audio -affiliate -program. And tell people what this is, Avish.
This is a page set up specifically for the ClickBank affiliate program. So if you scroll down, it's step by step. So we have the 7-part audio series recorded earlier this year, which was an interview with 7 different experts, including Fred and myself. And recently we got it up on ClickBank. So, the way you really make money, I got a little typo there. The way you really make money on ClickBank, or one of the big ways, is people can resell your product as affiliates. So to promote that and to make other people's lives easier who want to sell our stuff, we created this page, which right now is more just a place to drive people who already know our stuff to say, look, you can make 75% commission per sale. It's handled all through ClickBank. Here's how you do it. Also trying to get people to sign up, because if someone signs up as a ClickBank affiliate, we don't have any of their contact info. So want to get people signed up. And the benefit there to them is that, I just want to get this up and going. So what we're going to do is create resources for people as well. So graphical banner ads that they can post on sites and things like that. Pre-written emails that they can just send out to their list if they want. Resources they can use to help sell our stuff. So trying to leverage that power of other people marketing for us.
Got it. Now, one of the things that people might be asking is, why the heck would we sell it and give away 75% commission?
Well, I can think of 2 reasons, because number one, it's a lot of motivation, and 25% of something for us is better than 100% of nothing.
Right.
And the second is that this is not the only source of potential revenue our site has. So by giving away that much, we're encouraging other people to sell it, but now they're in our funnel, the people who are buying the product. So we're essentially getting paid for leads.
Yep.
I mean, they're entering our funnel and paying us, and then we can sell them the coaching, the seminars, other products down the road.
Yep. And again, I think that this is, now you noticed a typo in here or something?
Well, just the per sale. There needs to be a space on the second one in the middle of the page.
Gotcha. Yeah, the other thing that is this something that you can control? Can you make it so that the amount of letter or amount of words on a line, this looks sort of like it's an orphan, or is that a function of browser?
That's a good question. I could probably force it. I could probably put in some breaks and force.
And I would, because I would put, instead of the dash, I might put 3 dots, the ellipsis, and then put and earn 75% commission, and maybe put that in bold, 75% commission per sale. So I'd have this here, this go to the next line.
Yeah, that should be easy enough to do.
Yeah. So yeah, try that. But I mean, I think this is a great place to start. And so our goal here, and have we had any? Is this up and running yet or not?
It's up and running, but I haven't sent anyone to it. So an e-zine is going out, sending an email out to the list tomorrow, which will announce this and see if what kind of results that starts to generate.
Yeah, and if anybody's on this call and on the webinar that wants to do this, um, what special offer do we have for them, Avish?
That's a good question.
I have no idea.
Just what's on the page. So.
Yeah, get to that thing, because basically, and those of you who haven't participated in the ClickBank process before, like I'm doing some consulting work for them, and I'm more and more liking who they are and what they're about and how they do their business. And so I'd encourage you. It makes it super easy too, because you don't have to have merchant accounts and everything like that. So the whole thing is automated for you. So if you go on now, if I go to ClickBank, will I find our product listed?
It should be there. I mean, we checked it before, so.
Let's just see here. We're going to go to promote products. I'll act like I'm coming from the outside. And so if I'm looking, what should I put in the search box? Speaking?
I mean, if you want to make sure you're fine, put in speaking expert. We're also in the category of whatever's public. Oh, you got to go to like that search is different than go to marketplace, the small link.
Yeah, again, some of the
stuff. Yeah, here's something to
yeah.
to add to your notes.
Yeah, make sure
in there.
Make sure and remind me. Whoops. Yeah, remind me with an email, because that's something that I'm going over with them. Okay, so here it is. So this is Speaking Expert audio series, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there it is, and got it. There's quite a few public speaking ones here, huh? Yep. I'm looking at the gravity indexes on all these. So there you have it, and it would be something easy to do. So now if I wanted to promote this, all I would do is click here, right? And it gives me, there you go. It's as easy as that, and you get what's called a hop link, which is basically an affiliate link. But there you go. Anything else, Avish, to add to that?
No, that's the basic gist of it. So I'm curious to see, who, if anyone, responds to this. And according to our analytics, we've had like 100 some odd people click through it, but no sales yet. So I'm hoping that by having it more people who are a little bit familiar with us promote it, there'd be a little more weight behind their recommendations and start seeing some sales.
That would be good. And what's the price point for the product?
I believe it's 97.
97, and they're getting 75%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're getting over $70 a sale. Good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. By the way, I was talking, and I don't think it's telling anything that I shouldn't be sharing, but the pricing, the best price point for ClickBank seems to be, right around the under $50 thing, like the $47. That seems to be the sweet spot. So if you're selling a product on so we may want to look at trying to find a way to do something and calling it slightly different. Maybe we do the strip down. How many components? There are 8 components of our program, right?
7.
7. That's right.
Yeah.
So 7 pieces. So maybe that's for the full version, which is $97. And then maybe what we do is we have 3 parts for $47, and then use the other 4 parts as an upsell. Because I know that this is the sweet spot here. So I'm just trying to think if we could find a way to get that into the $47 price point, then we can use everything else we have.
Yep.
There's a comment, I guess, from Pam that says Kindle prices seem high. I covered that a while back, so I assume that she was referring to the $9.97. In the case of a very, very specific, and let's just look at that because that's sort of worth looking at now. Let's just take a look at kdp.amazon.com. Well, actually, let's go to Amazon and search for under books here. Sell your brain power, my book here. So if you want to buy the physical version of my book, there's your price. It's $19.95 in physical book form and $4.99 in Kindle form. I think now, so why would I suggest that Bill DeWeese do something different? Because Bill DeWeese is in a very, now again, I'm suggesting that'd be a place to start is the $9.95 or $9.97. I wouldn't go outside the $9.95 or $9.97 price point only because of the commission that Amazon gives you. You're maximizing your commission, assuming you got an equal number of sales. If you're just under $10, because you can still get your 70% of that piece through Amazon. So the sweet spot for Amazon is somewhere between $2.99 and $9.99. But again, I did mine at $4.99 because there seemed to be sufficient demand. The reason why I'm saying Bill should start at $9.97 or $9.95, whatever it is because I think that his market is so narrow and so targeted. Or the other thing I think we did was we looked at, and let me just go there and show people this as an example. Was that your cat?
Yeah, my fat cat's been meowing at me.
Oh, do you have a cat? That's Amanda's?
Yeah, she brought 2 cats when she moved in.
Oh, cool. Okay, I didn't know that. Cool.
Oh, yes.
So you've got voiceover here. Notice voiceover. This is the most popular one. $17.79. Kindle edition, $14.82. Frankly, I just don't think this is sensible.
No.
I really don't. It doesn't make any sense to me because why would you only give people? I think that the minimum discount of the Kindle over your or as compared to your physical book should be at least 50% off. I think the publishers have it wrong when they do. I mean, how many times do we see we've had this discussion before? You go find. I'll give you a perfect. I don't think I actually. I don't. Maybe I did look at this, but traditional publisher like Bill O'Reilly's Killing Lincoln. So let's see. There you go. Oh yeah. So you can get the physical book for $16.75 or the Kindle book for $13. I mean, you know what? You're not going to induce me to buy with that small a variation. And certainly the publishers, if they had their act together, would realize they're making a whole boatload more money on the Kindle edition. So let's see here. He's got this. Look at this. So his Lincoln's Last Days. This is for kids. $11.69 or $10. So you save $1.70. I mean, it just makes no sense to me. So if we go back here and let's look at the voice. Oh, there it is. Oops, sorry. So the voiceover stuff again. I'm suggesting that Bill DeWeese price his at $19.95 for the physical book or $9.95. At least start there. He may go down to $7.77. I'm not sold on it having to be there, but let's test it there. And this is something that the folks at Amazon at the Kindle group never got back to me on, where if you agree to, now here's one, look at this. There's Money Where Your Mouth Is, a complete insider's guide. The Kindle edition, just 99 cents. My suspicion is this isn't selling a lot if he went that low. Kindle edition here from $5.78, that's good. This one, $13.57 and 0. Interesting. That's if you're an Amazon Prime customer. But you want to research your competition, okay? Voiceover, voice actor. What it's like behind the mic. 16 customer reviews. Wow, look at this. This is a lot of reviews for this one. So you need to go ahead and check out, what your competition is doing and look at it. But again, for our purposes, I think the pricing being somewhere in the neighborhood of between, somewhere at, I think you start at $20 for the physical book, depending on how long it is. Oh, by the way, speaking of books, oh my God, Avish, I don't want to say the name of the person this is, but I will allude to it and you'll know who it is. And just because I don't want to embarrass that person if they ever get on this recording of the webinar. I don't see them on the webinar now, but I just want to give people a cautionary tale. In the group that Avish, myself, and Bill Hanlon were working on, there was a person that you will know who was working on a project, and she was finishing up the writing of a book. She's a New York City person, so Avish, you probably have enough information to know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
think
talking
so.
about. So what happened was just yesterday in the mail, I got a copy of her book. Now, her target audience is executives. I won't say in what field exactly, but these are executives. Avish, if I showed you this book, oh my God.
Really?
It looks, I mean, everything is the cover looks pretty nice and whatever. The problem is the back cover and the inside type size that was chosen and the leading between the lines. It looks like a children's book.
Hmm.
And to me, this is a credibility killer, not a credibility enhancer. So my point is that here's the dilemma. You're writing a book, or you're going to get a book transcribed, you're going to get an audio program transcribed and turn it into a book. But you say to yourself, oh, well, this isn't really a lot of material. I'd like to make the book thicker. What I'm going to do is increase the size of the type. No, 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 no. Do not do that. I would rather have you, if you want to do anything, maybe make it a smaller book, but don't reduce the smaller in terms of the actual physical overall size. But do not increase the size of your type so that you have 150 pages, because it kills your credibility rather than enhances it. So if I sent you this book, Avish, I mean, you would just be appalled.
Wow.
And I would never ever buy something from someone who had a book like this, because I would think they were not savvy. Because it literally would hurt rather than help their reputation. So if you have, now let's just take the case, and I told this to Bill as well. Bill DeWeese and I sat down. We did this interview because we're trying to knock out this book as quickly as possible. So now, in addition to transcribing the audio, we're going to add some other sort of addendums and whatever. So that's a few more pages. But let's just say that we only end up with 85 or 90 pages. I'm not going to expand the size of the type in order to make it look like we have more substance to the book, so that when you get it in the mail, it's fatter. No. But we have the cover designed, so the spine will be a little bit thinner, and we go from there. So it's just a matter of, we don't want to try to make something out of nothing. We don't want to try and make it look like there's more than there actually is. The answer is, when somebody says, well, how long should it be? It should be as long as it needs to be to get it done, and get it done in an efficient fashion. Because frankly, and I mean, I remember telling the story about the late Corey Rudel, who was an internet marketing guy. And Corey used to sell this package, and I remember either I got a copy or he gave me a copy, and it was about a $700 thing. It came in the mail, it was weighed like 4.5 pounds. It was like 6 big manuals. And after getting it, my first thought was, you know what, dude? I would have paid twice as much money for you to give me like a 100-page manual rather than all this additional crap.
Mm-hmm.
People are not, the value equation says it's not how much it weighs if we put it on the scale. It's how much value do I get out of it if I follow the advice that you give me? And is that advice easy to follow? Can I get through it? And the answer is not with 700, 800, 900 pages in that Corey Rudel manual. It was monstrous, and it just didn't make any sense. Any thoughts on that, Avish?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you can market it either way. I mean, there's that thunk factor, I guess, where you feel like, wow, I'm getting a lot, but if you never use it, then you can always market it on it being smaller. You can market on the whole no fluff thing, and you didn't try to pad it out. This is just direct information and whatnot.
Yeah, I agree. And so that's anyway. We're getting sort of close to the time. Does anybody have any questions on anything we've talked about? Well, I see a few items here. Let's see. Yeah, one of the comments is that this is there's some people that you're mentioning, Pam. I'm not fans of, so I won't repeat their names. Just be careful, is all I can say. A book should look like like a real book. It shouldn't look like a children's book. If you're going to use it as a piece of promotional, item. I mean, let's just go for a second back to mine here. Your brain. So if we go to my book here and we look at it, whoops, let me just put this in here. Look inside. Okay, so tough to see, but I got to keep this size. But just in terms of the size of the type, so we're not looking at. Oh, by the way, that's an important item right here. If you go to Kindle, take a look at what I do before the first page of my book even starts. So here's your free offer. That's a physical page in the book. You get your free information marketing audio course. Why? Because if I sell a book on the Kindle store or a book from Amazon Kindle, I don't know who those customers are. So I got to give them some kind of a seductive offer to bounce them back. So I give them this go.gl link and I capture their information. So I would take a look at this as an example. But the point is, if you look at the type, this is like normal type. This is not like oversized type to make it look like, this is the right way to do this. Trust me. And now, the one thing that I do differently, by the way, we've got another review here. Let me see what that is. Okay. Avish, there's your review. Yep, there's good stuff in here. So, I mean, it's good. Now, by the way, I actually think I'd like to get, if I got 20 more 5-star reviews, I'd want to get a couple 3 and 2 stars too, because again, it doesn't look as credible when you have a lopsided, but 10 to 1 ratio is nice for that to do. Any other questions? Let me see here. David says, what is a good source for editing one's books? David, that's a good question. And the best source is a spouse or relative who is good and will do it for free. But other than that, you can get people to edit, and I have a woman that I recommend whose name is Jill Townsend, and I think it's Jill Townsend. Do you remember what her email address is, Avish? Do you know Jill's?
I don't.
I
don't really know her.
think this might be it. Check that out. But Jill Townsend, you know what? The way that we can find it out is we can go to how she was to write a great bio.com. Or is it just write a great bio? Forget. No, it's not. It is write a great bio.com. She does a lot of writing of just biographies. So get in touch with Jill at this address here and tell her I sent you. And this will give you, she's a good person to go to. If you wanted to, I guess you could go on Elance or even on Craigslist. I mean, Craigslist, you can find some amazing things really, really cheap. So David, try that. Let's see, Eileen says she is an editor as well. Eileen, why don't you send me, what's your site address here so I can take a look at that and send people to it. Eileen, if you get me that, I will put it up here. So just put another little comment in the questions box and I will put it in. Eileen, I'm waiting for you to put that in. Put in your URL and I will put it up. I'm giving you to the count of 5. 1, 2, 3. There it is. Okay. Eileen, I got a question for you. People can find you on LinkedIn. I want a website. I can't do that. I gotta have a website because if not, it begs the question, why not? So you need to put together a website. As soon as you do, I'll be happy to put it up. But you can't just say to people, find me on LinkedIn. No. Plus, your spelling of your name. How difficult is it? Let me just see here. Yeah, you've got a weird spelling of a last name like I do too, and so you need to have something related specifically to, like, to what you're doing. So, like, go reserve on, of course, ultra cheap domains a web name like I edit yourbooks.com or something like that. So the next time you come on, I'll be happy to promote it if you have a website. Because going through LinkedIn is too convoluted. I want to be able to find you. I want to find out who you are, what you do. And I don't want to have to go to a separate site that's not connected specifically to you, because again, that's a credibility killer. Here is Jill. So if I'm competing, and just think about this, if you're competing against Jill, who has this site, Write a Great Bio, and this is, all of a sudden, and you have a LinkedIn link for her if you can't win against someone like her, because she's got you outgunned because she has her own site. So if you want to, and again, you can put up sites super quick, super easy. I know you don't have a site yet. It's under construction. Well, Eileen, get it done. The company name, that's great, but where's the site? I don't, I got to tell you, I got to bust you on this, because you can't run a business that has an online component without a website. So, as soon as you get it done, I'll be happy to do that. But you can't just say, find me on LinkedIn, find me on Twitter, find me. You have to have more credibility. So make sure you do that, and then we'll be happy to promote it. So there we have it. At about 50 minutes, the bell has rung. The college class is officially over. And we'll see everybody next week, same time, same channel.